What you will learn in this video took Martha Hudson 23 years to learn. She woke up for 23 years at 5 a.m., took 2 buses, clocked in, swallowed the humiliation and said to herself, "That's how it is, life is difficult." She thought money was luck or effort or chance. In none of those 8,395 days did she stop to think about what truly sustained her poverty. It was simply her thoughts, which she accepted without question, and she never realized that money is just an effect of the human mind. Until the day she saw one sentence, just one, and it took less than 5 minutes, to never be the same again. Continue with the video and discover what led to Martha's transformation. Chapter 1: The Clock's Slave. The alarm clock buzzed at 5:15 a.m. Same tone, same silent message. "Get up, woman. You've got bills to pay." And there was Martha, 43 years old, 2 decades working as a secretary at an orthopedic clinic in Tampa, Florida's outskirts. She knew the drill: the cold shower, water heater always broken, weak coffee, packed lunch with yesterday's rice, and of course, heels that felt like medieval torture devices. The clock commanded her like a general, and she obeyed. Martha never had time to dream. She wasn't even sure she still believed in dreams. Her life was bills, deadlines, struggle. On the bus, she'd spend the entire ride reading Psalms on her phone. She thought she was being faithful, but inside, she felt broken, frustrated, and silently angry at God. "If He loves me, why is my life so hard?" She never said it aloud. But God heard, because the universe listens even to unspoken thoughts. At the clinic, she smiled at patients who barely noticed her existence, typed with tired fingers, took Dr. Klein's curt orders, and internalized every post-it note stuck to her soul. "You're small, Martha. You'll never escape this." When the electric bill came $40 over budget, she took the money from her grocery fund. Another week of noodles and hot dogs. Yet on Sunday she still went to church, dropped $5 in the offering plate and prayed for the 1,000th time. "Lord, give me a chance. Anything. A sign." But the sign wasn't at the altar. It would come from the most unlikely place. A waiting room. It was Wednesday. A late patient. She'd already reviewed the charts 3 times. On impulse, she opened the front desk drawer to reorganize papers. That's when she saw it. A battered little book with a faded gold title. The Game of Life and How to Play It. Florence Scovel Shinn. Someone had forgotten it there. Or perhaps not. Game. What game? My life is war, she thought. But something inside, a spark of curiosity, made her open it. On the first page, underlined in pink ink, "Man can control conditions by his words. Words open doors." She snapped the book shut like she'd seen a ghost. In that phrase, something dangerous, and yet liberating. All day she couldn't stop thinking. She who believed effort was everything now faced what seemed like a spiritual shortcut. That night, Martha didn't watch her soap opera, didn't wash the dishes. She sat on her bed, the little book in her hands, and began to read. The Clock's Slave had found a portal, and though she didn't know it yet, inside that portal was a path that required just 5 minutes of practice daily. Do you feel trapped in autopilot too, obeying an invisible system? Comment "Awake" below if this story resonates with you. Subscribe and hit the bell. The coming chapters will reveal truths hidden from you for decades. Because what Martha's about to discover will make you question everything you've been told about hard work. Chapter 2: You've been lied to about success. The next morning, Martha arrived at the clinic 30 minutes early. Not to get ahead on work, but to read. Yes, read. Something she hadn't done since high school, except for bills and medicine labels. She opened the book where she'd left off, and there, sharp as a knife, was another underlined phrase. Nothing happens in the outer world until you change your inner world. A chill ran down her spine. What? Then what about all my effort? the overtime, the sleepless nights, the bills barely paid. Did none of it matter? In her mind, this felt like betrayal, like hearing everything she'd learned about hard work, sweat, and sacrifice was a lie. Martha remembered the 12-hour church fundraiser where she didn't even get a thank you. Her mother's voice saying, "Be honest, work hard, and God will reward you one day." But time passed, and the reward never came. Had generations deceived her? Or had she been working hard in the wrong direction? The next page delivered another blow. The mind is the true battlefield. Master your mind, master money. Sounded almost heretical, yet profoundly true. She thought of Dr. Klein. The clinic was his. His time was valued. She did everything, but he reaped the profits. Was he smarter? Well, better looking? Definitely not. More just? Never. The only difference, he believed he deserved it. Martha believed she had to earn it. That workday, she began observing differently. The receptionist who kept saying, "I'm poor but happy." The delivery guy always grumbling, "Life's tough, huh?" Even herself thinking, "That's not for me," when seeing someone in a new car. Words. Affirmations. All of it, according to Florence, was mental programming. And the mind, Martha realized, isn't neutral. It's always creating, for better or worse. At lunch, while co-workers complained about politics and rent hikes, Martha did something unprecedented. She wrote her first affirmation on a prescription pad scrap. "Money obeys me. I'm a prosperity magnet. I work little and receive much." She almost laughed. Sounded crazy. But an inner voice countered. Crazier is spending 40 more years as a slave. She tucked the paper in her lab coat pocket. That afternoon, something shifted in her posture. She stood taller, answered phones more firmly, spoke less, observed more. And when Dr. Klein handed her paycheck, shortchanged for the holiday, she didn't swallow her frustration. She smiled inside, because now she knew that salary wasn't her limit, just the start of her inner revolution. Have you ever believed hard work is the only currency for success? Comment, "No more lies," if this resonates. If you too want to make money obey like Martha's learning, hit like. Share this with someone who says, "Nothing works out for me." It might be their turning point. Next chapter, Martha learns what no one taught her. How to feel rich before seeing a penny. That's when the game changes. Chapter 3. Pretend you're rich, even without a penny. Martha Hudson wasn't the type to pretend. She was too real, too honest, and so too poor. It was Tuesday in Sarasota, Florida. The sun shone mockingly over her life. She went straight from work to the grocery store. Same route, same sale items, same mental math to keep the total at exactly $62.19. The debit card screamed from the machine. Insufficient funds. The shame was instant. Her cheeks burned. The cashier's pitying look was too kind not to offend. Back home, she half dropped the bags on the counter and collapsed onto the couch. Florence's book was there, open, as if waiting for her. She picked it up. A new margin note caught her eye. Your outer reality only changes when you shift your inner vibration. Act as if you're wealthy until you become it. She let out a bitter laugh. Act wealthy. With what? An overdraft and expired ramen. But the idea clung to her mind. What if looking rich was a tool, not an act? Next morning she woke earlier. Chose her best outfit. A navy blazer worn once for an interview. Brewed coffee slowly. Applied wine-colored lipstick. Sprayed perfume saved for special occasions. And walked out like she owned the practice. At work, even the receptionist noticed. Wow, Martha. Special occasion. She just smiled. The occasion is me. At lunch, instead of joining co-workers' pity parties, she left. Sat alone at a corner cafe. Ordered a cappuccino and almond toast. $9.50 spent. For the first time, no guilt. She was practicing her new identity, not showing off, vibrating higher, an energy adjustment. As Florence said, you attract what you feel to be true, not what you claim to want. That night, she wrote on a yellow post-it, "I act like a wealthy woman because I am a wealthy woman," and stuck it on her bathroom mirror. She started walking through her apartment like she owned a Manhattan duplex, cleaned closets expecting investor tours, made her bed like Oprah was visiting. And you know what happened? The world didn't change. She did. By week's end, something curious occurred. Dr. Klein entered her office. "You've been different," or assured, confident. "I'm considering you for afternoon team lead." Thoughts? She froze. Raise. More responsibility. A new salary. Not much. But the universe whispering, "Keep going." Now comment below. I act like I've already won. If you're embracing this new version of yourself today. If this story resonates, subscribe and hit like. This video might reach someone else, just 5 minutes away from changing their life. Next chapter. Martha discovers what most workers never grasp. Do you work for money? Or does money work for you? This question will blow her mind. And maybe yours too. Chapter 4. Do you work for money? Or does money work for you? Martha Hudson was changing. Not just her clothes, perfume, or posture. Her mind. It was as if, after years pushing against a locked door, she'd finally found the key. That Friday afternoon, Dr. Klein confirmed her promotion. With it came a new badge, an unexpected bonus, and a question that would echo in Martha's mind for days. Do you want to keep trading hours for dollars? Or learn to make money work for you? The asker wasn't her boss, but a patient. A woman with gold-rimmed glasses sat before her, serene smile, leather planner in hand. Ms. Evelyn Rowe, retired, former director of a major insurance firm, and Martha gathered, discreetly wealthy. During the appointment, Evelyn praised Martha's calm professionalism, then asked, "Do you enjoy what you do?" Martha hesitated. "I do, but feel capable of more. I just don't know what." Evelyn smiled. From her bag, she produced a card bearing a single name, Florence Scovel Shinn. "This woman changed my life. When I first read her book, I realized my problem wasn't earning money. It was not knowing how to command it." The words detonated in Martha's mind like a silent bomb. Are you working hard to serve money? Or is money working to serve you? The truth stung. Martha lived in survival mode. Every dollar that came in already had a destination. Bills, rent, credit cards, meds. She didn't have money, she managed obligations. Evelyn went deeper. "Martha, did you know money obeys vibration? It doesn't respond to blind effort, but to value consciousness. Treat every cent as an employee. It should work for you, not the other way around." That night, Martha sat in silence. She remembered the affirmation on her mirror, and added a new one. "I don't work for money. I command money with divine wisdom." From then on, she changed one small thing. She stopped saying, "I need money," and began declaring, "Money works in my favor, even while I sleep." Might sound silly, but this was precisely the vibrational command Florence taught. Affirmations aren't magic. They're mental reprogramming. 2 weeks later, Evelyn returned to the clinic with an envelope. Inside, an invitation to a local women's entrepreneurial circle. Evelyn mentored a foundation helping women invest and launch businesses. On the back, handwritten, "You already have everything. You just need to learn how to move it." That Saturday, Martha entered a room where every woman seemed to own something, except her. But inside, something new was being born. What about you? Have you honestly asked yourself? Comment, "Money works for me," if you're ready to flip the script. Subscribe so you don't miss the next step. Like if any phrase resonated or if someone needs to hear this today. Next chapter. Martha faces the boldest proposal of her life. Are you ready to own something of your own? Will she dare? Chapter 5: The Proposal That Changed Everything. The invitation came so simply. Martha almost ignored it. She was organizing reception papers when an unexpected message arrived from Evelyn Rowe. Need to speak with you. Can you come to my home Saturday? Bring your best coffee and your boldest vision for the future. Martha laughed. Vision for the future. She could barely think past next month's gas bill. Yet, for reasons she didn't fully understand, she said yes. That Saturday morning, she drove to Winter Haven, a tree-lined Orlando suburb. Evelyn's home looked like something from a movie. Wraparound porch, manicured garden. 3 women were chatting around a tea table in the backyard. Martha received warm hugs and curious glances. Evelyn didn't waste time. Ladies, this is Martha. And I believe she's ready. Martha's eyes widened. Ready for what? Evelyn gestured to a detached studio with glass doors and wooden signage leaning against the wall. We're launching a wellness clinic. Small but soulful. And I want you leading it, as partner. Silence. Martha nearly dropped her teacup. Partner? Evelyn. I work at a clinic. I don't even know how to start something. Evelyn replied with the certainty of someone who knew fear's dance. You know more than you think. You'll learn the rest. But first decide. Will you keep selling your hours? Or build something that earns while you rest? Martha drove home in a daze. Her mind replayed lifelong mantras. Stability, steady paycheck, benefits. Now they sounded like prison bars. Florence Scovel Shinn's words surfaced. Never accept less than what's divinely planned for you. If you settle for crumbs, crumbs are all the universe will bring. That night she faced her mirror again and declared firmly, I accept divine guidance. I am ready for the life that's mine by spiritual right. In the days that followed, Martha immersed herself in what Evelyn called financial healing through faith. She studied small business fundamentals, learned basic cost structures, client care, and reread for the 3rd time The Game of Life and How to Play It. She highlighted passages like incantations. Money doesn't come through labor. It manifests through wealth consciousness. The realization hit. This wasn't about having extra money. It was about no longer fearing to move boldly. Money would follow, as a natural result. What about you? Have you ever wondered what you'd do if someone believed in you more than you believed in yourself? Comment below. I claim my divine good. This could be your first command toward a new life. If this chapter moved you, share it with someone needing a life-changing proposition. Subscribe. Next chapter reveals Martha facing her most powerful saboteur, doubt. Ready for chapter 6. The voice that tried to stop me? This is where Martha must conquer the ultimate villain, her own mind. Chapter 6. The voice that wanted to stop me. Martha was determined. Or at least she thought she was. On paper it all made sense. Partnering with Evelyn, doing work she loved, creating financial freedom. But inside her mind, an invisible war was brewing. That Sunday, she woke early, made coffee, and opened her notebook of clinic ideas. Then she heard it. That voice. The same one she'd pretended not to hear for years. Subtle, familiar, poisoned with false concern. Who do you think you are? You really think you can do this? You've failed before. You'll fail again. It was the voice that whispered when she considered asking for a raise. The one that hissed when she dreamed of college. Not the voice of reason, but fear disguised as protection. That morning she couldn't fight it. She shut the notebook, scrubbed already clean floors, spent the day manufacturing excuses. Monday at the clinic, the reception area felt suffocating. The walls seemed to leech her energy. The voice returned. Better safe than sorry, right? She sighed. But deep in her purse, Florence's book remained, like a spark in the dark. At lunch, Martha hid in the break room and let the book fall open randomly. There it was. Fear is just inverted faith. It's believing in bad outcomes instead of trusting unseen good. She read it 3 times. Something shifted. That night, she tried an exercise Evelyn taught. Write your saboteur's lies. Then answer each with divine truth. Martha grabbed paper and began. You're not good enough. God's perfection in me manifests all that's mine by divine right. You can't afford this. Divine abundance is infinite. Money arrives through right channels at perfect timing. You'll embarrass yourself. No failure exists for faith-guided steps. All things work for my growth. By the end, the page was full. For the first time in weeks, she slept peacefully. Here's the thing. Your mind is like a radio. You're either tuned to faith's frequency or doubts. Comment below. Today I mute the fear station. Your brain needs to know you've changed the channel. If this chapter mirrored your mental battles, hit like. That click. It's a yes to your inner strength. Subscribe. Next chapter reveals Evelyn's money mindset secret that rewired Martha's thinking. Chapter 7. The Secret of the Bathtub. That Friday, after an intense hospital shift, Martha craved one thing: silence. She kicked off her shoes at the door, dropped her purse, and headed straight to the bathroom. As lavender-scented steam rose from the tub, she sank in up to her chin. Then her phone buzzed. An audio message from Evelyn. Martha, I promised you a story, remember? I've never told anyone this, but today felt right. Martha hit play. Evelyn's voice filled the room. Before my spa, I went bankrupt. Tried a med spa with a partner who betrayed me. Debts piled up. My self-worth hit 0. Almost moved back with my parents. Then one day, in a thrift store, I found Florence's book. Thought it was cheap self-help. But I read it, tested it, repeated the affirmations. 3 weeks later, an investor walked in, now my husband. He said my conviction about my new project convinced him. Truth. Had no project, just certainty. That was money obeying my mind. Not magic. Command. Martha went still. The words felt scripted for her. The revelation struck. Evelyn wasn't just lucky. She'd walked through fire too, and won by choosing authority over victimhood. The bathwater cooled, but Martha felt no chill. She rose like someone reborn, grabbed her notebook, and scrawled in bold letters. Money is obedient. I just need to learn to command it. Your turn tonight. Before bed, write. What would my life look like if money were my employee? No matter how absurd it seems. Visualization trains your reality muscle. Comment below. I am the mind. Money is the effect. This affirmation activates your personal power and silences chaos. If this resonated, hit like. It tells YouTube this message must reach others trapped in struggle. Subscribe. Next chapter, Martha faces her final resistance, her own family. Chapter 8. The worst criticism comes from home. Martha arrived early for Sunday family dinner. Abundant food. Forced laughter. Tension in their eyes, same as always. She'd barely sat down when her sister Lauren fired the first shot. So you're quitting the hospital to open a spa? Is this real or another one of your phases? The silence that followed screamed louder than words. Across the table, her father peered over his glasses, napkin still folded on his lap. You know nobody gets rich rubbing backs, right? You've got a good job, stability, a career path. And you'll throw it away for spiritual nonsense. Martha swallowed hard. For the first time she didn't cry. Didn't justify herself. Didn't surrender to the drama that had ruled Sunday dinners for decades. She simply said, I won't explain myself. I'm listening to something you can't hear. Yet. Her mother scoffed. Lauren smirked. Her father shook his head. But Martha held her ground. Solid. Unshaken. Finally author of her own story. Later she called Evelyn. It was awful, but freeing. Think. I've never been more myself. Evelyn's smile traveled through the phone. You just did what most people avoid their whole lives, disobeyed others' expectations, to finally obey your soul. Martha remembered a line from Florence's book. True faith never explains. It commands, and the universe obeys. That night, she slept with a light heart. The pain was real, but it was the ache of an old skin shedding to make room for the new. For the first time, she knew she was exactly where she needed to be. In the chaos, with her mind in command. Have you been there too? When you choose change, do your closest people discourage you most? Comment below. I choose my path, even without applause. These words strengthen others walking the same road. You never know who might read them and feel less alone. Like this video if your soul has ever screamed for a different way. Subscribe if this story moves you. Next chapter changes everything. In Chapter 9, Martha receives an undeniable sign, an impossible coincidence that rewrites her journey. Chapter 9, The Sign You Can't Ignore. It was a cloudy Wednesday. Martha headed to work, still questioning if any of this made sense. Her family's words echoed in her mind. You're throwing your life away. Deep down, she knew something was coming. But the ego demanded proof. Distracted, she walked toward the bus stop when a sheet of paper fluttered to her feet. Simple, crumpled. She almost tossed it aside. But something about the shaky handwriting caught her eye. A time-worn, handwritten note. The walls of your prison are built with bricks of limiting beliefs. Break one, and the universe moves. Signed, Viz. She froze. Looked around. No one. Just wind spinning leaves on asphalt. Was this real? A lost note? Or a message? She walked home in silence, the paper between her fingers. Along the way, she recalled a passage she'd underlined days earlier. Nothing is accidental. The invisible commands before the visible manifests. That night she changed her ritual. No begging for money. No pleading for clients. No demanding signs. I trust. Show me the way. I'll follow. Next morning, an email from an unknown address appeared. Subject: Holistic Therapist Referral. Dr. Tiller's recommendation. An old hospital colleague, the only one who knew Martha's plans, had referred her to a VIP client. Her first paid session outside her friend circle. The rate: double her usual fee. Non-negotiable. The client, Blair, a wellness influencer with 500k followers. This was the sign. Not just the flying paper. The entire universe beginning to move. Have you ever received an undeniable sign? Comment: I receive the signs. I follow with faith. If someone's waiting for a sign, you might unknowingly deliver it. Like this video if you believe the universe speaks, even in confusing ways. Subscribe now. The final stretch of this story will open your mind unexpectedly. Chapter 10. Martha faces her hardest choice. Obey her mind or obey fear. Chapter 10. Whoever obeys fear will never become the chief of money. Martha's phone vibrated violently on the table. It was Claire, her new VIP client. Their previous session had been a success. Claire had mentioned referring Martha to others. But this was a direct call. With bated breath, Martha answered. Martha, I have a bold proposal. I'm organizing a holistic retreat in Sedona, and I want you as lead facilitator. All expenses paid. And yes, with a fee. Can we talk? It sounded like a vault unlocking. Then the old patterns surfaced. Am I good enough? What if I fail? What if they think it's luck, not skill? She hung up and sat in silence for minutes. Then walked to her mirror. The same mirror where, months earlier, she could barely face herself. Now, she stared deep into her own eyes and declared, I command money because I command myself. Fear may scream, but I give the orders now. She remembered Florence Scovel Shinn. Fear is inverted faith. It's believing more in chaos than divine order. And in that moment, Martha understood. Money is obedient, but it doesn't respond to doubt. It only bows to inner authority. Envelope with arrow. She replied to Claire's email with 3 words. Count on me. Always. 1 month later, Martha no longer woke at 5:15 a.m. to catch 2 buses to Dr. Klein's orthopedic clinic. She'd 5x her income. More importantly, she looked in the mirror and liked who she saw. Not because she now had money, but because she'd discovered she never needed permission to prosper. The outer world simply obeyed the inner, as it always does. The moral: you can spend the next 40 years trying to master the world, or the next 5 minutes mastering yourself. You choose who commands, you or fear. And money, oh money, it always obeys the most convinced commander in the room. If this story moved you, share it with someone needing to awaken to their power. Comment below. I am the command. Money listens to me. Leave a like if this story opened a portal within you. And subscribe for more of Florence Scovel Shinn's spiritual truths. Because sometimes, all we need is to remember what we already knew. In the end, Martha didn't win because she learned a new trick. She won because she stopped negotiating with her smaller self. She stopped begging for crumbs and started carrying herself like someone who owns the table. Florence Scovel Shinn never said money was hard to get. She said money responds. And it responds fast, when the commander knows what they want and speaks with authority. The problem: you might still be approaching life with phrases like, who am I to want this? Is this really my destiny? What if I fail? Here's the naked truth. Money doesn't respect doubt. Money doesn't recognize fear. Money obeys conviction. You can spend a lifetime trying to do things the right way. Or in 5 minutes of absolute clarity, give the universe the right command. Simple as that. Brutally clear. And extraordinarily powerful. So why not practice now? Declare this. Starting today, money obeys me. 'Cause now, I'm in command. See you in the next video.